It's the early hours of April 18, 2016. Missy Bevers, a dedicated fitness instructor, heads to Creekside Church of Christ in Midlothian, Texas. She's there to get ready for her 5 a.m. Camp Gladiator class. There was a heavy thunderstorm that night, but despite the terrible weather, Missy Bevers arrived at the church a little before 5 a.m. to prepare for her fitness class, scheduled to start at 5. At around 4:20 a.m., Bevers arrived at the church and began setting up for her class. But just a few minutes later, an unknown assailant encountered Bevers inside the church. By 5 a.m., Missy's students start arriving, expecting their usual workout. Instead, they are met with a horrific scene. Missy was there, lying on the floor, unresponsive and brutally attacked. The students immediately call 911, but it's too late. Missy has succumbed to her injuries. The church was quickly cordoned off, and an investigation into Bevers' murder began immediately. The police and Missy's students were shocked and baffled. What had really happened that fateful morning? And who could be behind such a brutal attack? But before we dive any further into this case, let's get to know the victim of this terrible crime a little better. Missy Bevers was born Terry Leanne Missy Strickland on August 9, 1970 in Graham, Texas. She was raised in a close-knit family environment by her parents Marsha and Randy Strickland. Known for her outgoing personality and dedication to her family and community, Missy enjoyed a happy and active upbringing. She excelled academically at local schools in Graham and pursued a career in education as a teacher's aide at a local elementary school. Her passion for fitness led her to become a certified fitness instructor, allowing her to share her love for health and wellness with others. Missy married Brandon Bevers, and together they focused on their family, raising 3 daughters, Hannah, Sarah, and Allie. Missy's involvement in her community extended to Creekside Church in Midlothian, Texas, where she taught fitness classes and participated in various church activities and events. Her friendly and compassionate nature made her a beloved figure in her community. Supported by her husband Brandon, Missy's dedication to her family, fitness, and community left a lasting impact on those around her. In the lead-up to her tragic death, Missy's life seemed to be filled with the usual activities of a busy wife, mother, and a community member. She continued to teach fitness classes, support her family, and participate in church activities. As the crime scene slowly unfolded, the police were shocked at the brutality of the murder. Missy Bevers was found dead with several puncture wounds to her head and chest. A hammer was found near her body, although it's unclear if it was the murder weapon. During the investigation into the murder, the police checked the surveillance camera system inside the church where Missy was going to conduct her fitness class. Although the exterior cameras were not functioning on the day of the murder, the cameras inside the church were operational. They recovered the surveillance footage, which showed an eerie scene. Missy wasn't alone in the church that morning.
I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Midlothian police only released about 7 seconds of video of the killer from a surveillance camera. The woman murdered was a mother of 3 who taught fitness classes.
The footage shows that someone was walking in the church's hallways. The suspect, an unknown person, was dressed in what appeared to be police tactical gear. The footage shows the suspect occasionally smashing glass and attempting to open doors lining the church hallways. The helmet, gloves, and the police-marked vest obscure their identity completely. Dressed head to toe in police-style tactical gear, this mysterious individual methodically roams the dark corridors, breaking windows and searching the premises for something or someone. Could it be that this person was searching for Missy? Or was their target another innocent soul and Missy just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time? With the church now a crime scene, investigators work tirelessly to piece together the events of that fateful morning. The surveillance footage becomes the cornerstone of their investigation. The suspect's tactical gear and calm demeanor suggest a level of preparation and perhaps even familiarity with law enforcement or military protocols. But the motive remains elusive. Nothing of significant value was taken from the church and there are no immediate signs of personal vendetta. Was this a meticulously planned attack or did something go terribly wrong?
Good evening, guys. There are so many troubling aspects to this crime. A murder committed inside a church, a murder in a town that hasn't seen a murder in years, and a suspect caught on surveillance camera wearing full police tactical gear.
The video depicts an unknown male walking inside the church building dressed in police-type clothing and wearing a helmet and gloves. He is designed to look like a police officer. His intent was to look like a police officer.
Police say the killer was dressed in full tactical gear with a helmet, a vest that says police on the back, and gloves. The killer first appears on a church security camera at 10 minutes to 4 Monday morning. About 30 minutes later at 4:18, 45-year-old Terry Missy Bevers arrives to begin setting up for her Camp Gladiator training session.
There's no video of the assault that took place. There is video of Mrs. Bevers when she first enters the church.
Missy Bevers' last Facebook post announced she'd be at the church at 5 a.m. If it's raining, we're still training.
It was actually having a class inside the facility today because of the rain, and so her students actually were in the building and found her.
Just days after the murder, another crucial lead surfaces. Surveillance footage from a nearby sporting goods store captures a dark SUV circling the area near the church around the time of the murder. This vehicle becomes a critical piece of evidence as investigators hope to identify its driver and their connection to the crime. Was this a getaway vehicle? Did the driver have an accomplice inside the church? And could this be the break the investigators needed? Despite releasing the footage and appealing to the public for information, the identity of the driver and their connection to the case remains a mystery. Tips pour in, but none provide the breakthrough the investigators desperately need. Could this person be the key to solving the case?
Video of a suspicious car on the morning a mother and fitness trainer was murdered inside a Midlothian church. Could it provide the answer that has become really a national murder mystery? Hi, and good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Eager, first on Fox 4 News at 5:30 tonight. Police would like to talk to the driver of that car about the murder of Missy Bevers. She was beaten to death last April at the church as she got ready to teach a workout class inside. Police released images of a car they wanted to know more about, but now this surveillance video has surfaced.
Theories begin to swirl. Some speculate that the suspect may have had law enforcement or military experience given the tactical gear. Others wonder if Missy's active presence on social media might have made her a target. Investigators explore every angle, from Missy's personal relationships to her professional life, but no clear motive or suspect emerges. Did someone hold a grudge against Missy, or was she being stalked? As of now, the Midlothian Police Department has not named any official suspects in Missy Bevers' murder. They have, however, investigated several persons of interest and received numerous tips that have led to various individuals being questioned. Let's take a look at the people whom the police considered persons of interest. Randy Bevers, Missy Bevers' father-in-law, came under police scrutiny due to several reasons which appear suspicious in the context of the investigation. One reason for this is that the surveillance footage showed the suspect wearing police tactical gear. Randy Bevers had access to similar gear and equipment because of his past involvement in law enforcement and tactical training, which led to the initial interest from the investigators. Also, shortly after the murder, Randy Bevers brought a blood-stained shirt to a dry cleaner, which he explained had been stained while handling animals. Given the timing and the circumstances, this incident drew police attention. Upon investigation, it was determined that the blood on Randy's shirt was indeed animal blood, consistent with his explanation that he had been handling a dog that had been injured in a fight.
Yeah, Doug and Kaylee, according to the search warrant, Midlothian police have seized a woman's white shirt, size XXL, that Missy Bevers' father-in-law allegedly took to a local dry cleaner just on Friday. This appears to be a copy of that receipt. You can see the description here. It says pullover, animal blood, red, all over white. Now, Randy Bever, as well as his son, just has been in the police station here behind me. They're inside of that police station right now. According to detectives, Randy Bevers took 4 shirts to the dry cleaner, 3 shirts described as men's shirts, 1 XXL women's shirt with blood stains on it on April 22nd. The Dry Clean Supercenter reached out to police that same day. The clerk said that Bevers had explained the stains on the white shirt came from, quote, animal blood. Now, our team spoke to Randy Bevers himself. He says he was aware that police seized that shirt. He explained the blood is animal blood. A family dog, he says, a Chihuahua, was involved in a fight with another dog, and he was wearing this shirt at the time. He says he has provided police with a statement, and his son briefly explained the situation just outside of the police station for us.
It's a Chihuahua? Right, they got in a dog fight. That's all I'm going to say. I got to get some water, guys.
Although the suspect's identity in the surveillance footage was unclear, some observers noted similarities in gait and body shape with Randy Bevers. However, these observations were not conclusive. He also provided verifiable alibi for his whereabouts at the time of the murder, and no direct evidence linking him to the crime was found. It is for these reasons that Randy Bevers was never officially named as a suspect or charged with any crime related to Missy's murder. Brandon Bevers, Missy Bevers' husband, also came under scrutiny during the investigation into her murder. Investigators discovered that Missy and Brandon Bevers were experiencing financial difficulties and marital problems. Also, at the time of Missy's murder, Brandon claimed that he was on a fishing trip in Mississippi. Authorities also reviewed digital evidence, including text messages, social media activity, and emails. Some communication indicated tension in their marriage, prompting further inquiry. Brandon Bevers was the beneficiary of Missy's life insurance policy. For the police, this is a routine aspect of investigations, as financial gain can sometimes be a motive for murder. However, Brandon Bevers' alibi for the time of the murder was verified. Witnesses and other evidence confirmed he was indeed in Mississippi, several hours away from the crime scene, making it unlikely he was physically present at the time of the murder. And while there were indications of marital and financial stress, there was no direct evidence linking Brandon to the planning or execution of Missy's murder. And so, After verifying his alibi and finding no direct evidence of his involvement, police did not consider Brandon Bevers a suspect. The LinkedIn creep refers to an individual who allegedly sent unsettling LinkedIn messages to Missy Bevers in the weeks leading up to her murder. This angle was significant in the investigation as it suggested a possible stalker or someone with a personal vendetta against her. Police examined Missy's digital footprint, including her social media accounts and emails, and discovered a series of creepy and alarming messages on LinkedIn from an unknown individual.
According to the police warrant, Missy had been exchanging so-called intimate messages with a man she met 3 months ago on LinkedIn. Apparently, her husband knew about her affair, told police about it.
As for that LinkedIn message, there's a couple of different things. First, a couple of days before her murder, they believe there was one set of texts coming from a so-called creepy person that they're still trying to identify. But according to the affidavits, and I read them all today, there was another communication going on with someone else for a matter of months. It is unclear whether that person, I could name him, but I'm not going to at this point. All you have to do is read the affidavit, that person and she were communicating according to this, since January. Now, that doesn't mean anything. We don't know that that's an affair. Could be a friendship.
These messages, which have not been publicly detailed, were described as odd and indicative of a personal interest or fixation on Missy. The messages were sent over a period leading up to her murder, suggesting the sender had been focused on her for some time, making them particularly relevant to the investigation. Investigators sought to identify the sender by tracing IP addresses, examining account details, and potentially subpoenaing a LinkedIn, while also interviewing people in Missy's life to determine if anyone recognized the sender or if Missy had mentioned feeling threatened. The LinkedIn messages led the police to consider the possibility that Missy had a stalker or someone with an obsessive interest in her, potentially involved in her murder. Although law enforcement did not release the sender's identity to the public, they used the information to follow leads and investigate potential suspects. As of the latest update, it remains unclear if the LinkedIn creep was ever identified or ruled out as a suspect, and this angle continues to be explored in the ongoing investigation. Missy's family and the community are heartbroken and in fear. They hold vigils, pleading for justice and answers. The haunting image of the masked suspect lingers, a constant reminder of the tragedy that unfolded. Missy's is a case filled with speculation and theories, but concrete evidence leading to a suspect has been elusive. The investigation remains active, and authorities continue to seek any information that could lead to the arrest of Missy Bevers' killer.